The pain, that pain you're feeling, will not and could absolutely not be solved from outside of itself. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Um, why? I mean, it's all, of course, inspired by own experiences. But I noticed the topic of addiction is really high on the rise, at least around me right now. I see courses like Russell Brand is launching a course on how to heal from your addictions. One of my friends is posting a lot of um, his own experiences with addiction and with battling it. And I have a lot of conversations with and about my pain. And what I noticed, this thought just actually what I said in the beginning of the video, that the pain you're feeling cannot be solved from outside of itself. And that's a catch-22. If you are socialized here on this planet or in this Western society, which is like, dominates the cultures everywhere. Of course, there are places where it doesn't, but we're here. Where we kind of taught to run away from pain and see it as something negative, and then we're like coming to conclusions that we have to get rid of it somehow, and then we're looking for ways to do it. We Google, how do I get rid of my pain? Then we find a video on YouTube and like, oh my God, help me get rid of this pain because I cannot stand it. And with the pain, it's a catch-22 because the pain, as we all know, we're all being a baby and we'll be running around and we fall and scratch our knee. And what do we do then? Because we feel pain, we run home and we ask our grandma or our mother or whomever is at home to please fix it. And then they would put like alcohol in it and it stings even more. But then it doesn't. And then it's all fine. Then it's all good. So the basic biological purpose of pain is for you to feel it. So where's the problem that needs to be handled. So if you are in a business of trying to get rid of your pain, you better address the core issue first. And just standing there in the kitchen, I don't know what I'm talking about, thinking, oh my God, I wish this was over already. I wish I already have been transported into the future where I don't feel this pain. And, it's good to have desires and goals in life. But the whole thing is, unless you feel through it, it's not gonna go away. You have to have this experience. If you're feeling it, that's what you need to be doing, feeling it. And of course, why I was talking about addictions is the reason we do have this problem, and it's not even a problem, it's like just a type of behavior. You can say every coping mechanism is able to become an addiction at some point. Maybe right away, maybe a bit later, maybe a lot later. If you're using a substance, even if it's a medicine, it's also a drug, and you can't cope without it, then you are in a way addicted, which is addiction is, in that sense, going to be just like something you're dependent on, right? And there are a lot of things that we're dependent on. We're dependent on warm clothes in the winter. You can call it an addiction. You don't have to call it an addiction. That's a stretch. But you see what I mean? There are a lot of things that we're dependent on. And there are some things that it's, yeah, I guess it's fine to be dependent on warm clothes. Maybe. At this point in time, I assume it is fine. Maybe, in 10 years, I'd be like, that's outrageous. Who knows? But there are things that we don't have to be dependent on. So going back to the pain issue, if you're feeling pain, you're lonely, you're feeling like you're not enough, or whatever else other kind of pain you're feeling, and you're like, oh my god, I wish I were with my friends right now. Great. That would have been great. You would feel great. No signs of pain. Will not have to be addressing any incompleteness within your soul that you're feeling, which is false incompleteness. But that's the whole thing. Your false perceptions of yourself that make you suffer. So you can, go and do whatever that makes your pain fade away, not be bothering you so much. But you're also going to be prolonging the pain by avoiding it, because the reason of existence of pain is to alert you to something or somewhere there being some kind of problem. And of course, it's your decision. If you want to solve it little by little, not solve it at all, like suffer your whole life and feel hopeless, like I cannot solve this, I'm not gonna. And I mean, we all chose a certain path and certain way of going through life. First 30 years of my life, I was choosing I cannot do nothing with this. Poor me. This all is unbearable. And then everything becomes unbearable and everything becomes painful. And now I'm in it's not so dual. It's not like I was there and I'm here. But the more you choose to stay with your pain, the higher chance that your suffering will diminish. Maybe not right away. Different kinds of pains have different kinds of consequences. You having like a split bone, it will take a while for the bone to go back together again. If you scratch your knee, might heal pretty soon and not have any consequences whatsoever. You have like a deep cut on your finger, might leave a scar that might still be sensitive months or years after. But the thing is, until you pay attention to what your pain is calling your attention towards, there is no getting rid of pain. There is only chance that it will grow bigger because you'll get some kind of infection or inflammation on the wound. They'll keep attracting more negative stuff to it and you'll just rot. I'm sorry, I didn't want to make it so gruesome. That's just an analogy, but you will rot. if you don't address your pain. So, whatever I wanted to say, what are the ways to address the pain? There are millions of them. And at the same time, maybe it's just one. It's presence in whatever way you want to apply it. Pay attention to the pain, to what it's telling you. Get curious. Not being like, when you're looking for something and you've been told it's in the fridge, and you already looked in the fridge but you didn't pay attention, and then you go look into the fridge again and you're like, I don't see it, and they're like, it's on the door, and you look at the door and being like, no, it's not there, I still can't see it, because you don't want to take an L. So remember, when you're dealing with yourself, your ego also doesn't want to take an L. But if you remember that it's all within you, somebody has to take an L, and it's better be your ego than like your whole self, your whole human being. And also, you don't have to tell anybody about it. If at this point your ego is like having strong grasp on you, and I'm not saying at this point as it's a stage, I'm more saying at this moment, because there are different moments. Sometimes it has a very strong grasp on you, sometimes it's like chill, and sometimes you're like, oh my god, have I ascended yet? But surprise, 2 hours later you're like, definitely not yet. Especially when you talk to your parents. What? Ramdas said something about it. Everybody says something about it, like, how do you even? But that's another topic. So, what was I saying? Aha! Talk to your pain. And be inquisitive. And be curious. And don't be, don't be yourself. But pay attention to desire to overanalyze or over-explain yourself to yourself within your head when you're talking. It's like, oh, this pain is showing me something. Maybe kind of seems like maybe I don't feel like I deserve things. And then you start saying, like, to yourself, again, in the same head, being like, but I don't think I think that, so that can't be right. Oh, it can be right. It really can be right. Because when you think that, that's already like not really you. That's your concept of you. But what your subconscious is storing and all the experiences you had that made you create certain beliefs or ideas about yourself, they're in the subconscious. So what you think is not there, and it doesn't have such a direct connection or access to those subconscious thoughts. And pain is one of the most obvious ways to get there, because maybe it's like the most common, because we are not taught to pay attention to our intuition, to our inner knowing, to examine our beliefs just genuinely as a habit. So we end up not doing that, not accessing the roots of our whole worldview and view of ourselves, which are the same. And then it becomes such a big problem as we as we make choices in life and act based of those false beliefs, pain increases. And until it reaches the threshold where you can't ignore it anymore, still not paying attention. So pay attention. The more you're trying to distract yourself from pain with any kind of painkiller, whatever it is, the louder the pain will have to get to win your attention back. So don't set yourself up for failure. Also, if you have done that, don't worry and don't be hard on yourself. It's not because you're bad and you don't love yourself. It's just because you weren't ready. Now you're ready. So yay, let's celebrate, right? Let's do that together. Sit in pain. Oh my God. Yes, let's do that. Suffer, and then let's just not suffer, just feel the pain. Because what they say, suffering is created in your mind. It's the stories you attach to pain. That is also what makes you want to escape the pain so much, because you attach a certain meaning, like what does it mean about you that you're feeling this? Or what does it imply that you're going to feel in the future, or be in the future, or not be in the future, or where you're going? All these ideas are just ways for your brain or ego regain the control or regain the illusion of control, because of course you can't control your future. If you imagine that it's wrecked and horrible, it doesn't mean that you just lowered your standards so you can't be surprised anymore. It just means that you're suffering in your head about something that hasn't happened and most likely is not going to happen. But what's going to happen is that the stronger that idea and story is for you, the more likely it is that you will seek out situations or give meanings to existing situations that support that story. Oh my God, I can talk forever, but I know it takes like a million years to process the video. So I'm gonna start working on that now. And I might come back to this topic later. But let me know what your ideas on pain are. What are your thoughts? That's very interesting. I might be completely wrong. No, I'm not wrong. The cool thing about this is I'm absolutely right. And you are absolutely right. How cool is that? I love it. Okay, see you later. Hope this was in some way helpful. But after all, universe sent you the message, so you better receive.